Hey there. As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not an expert, nor should this be construed as any expert advice. I'm merely sharing my journey in the hopes that it inspires your own and on your own terms. Now, on to the next step in the journey. Quick note all month I'm launching on Along the Way by GDA, which is on the slide. Building healthy relationships and communities on your own terms. Lesson 1 is already out. Lesson 2 will be coming out either Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember exactly when I scheduled it, on the channel as well. So it's up. Feel free to, if you think it would be helpful for you, to go to those frameworks. And it's based on my journey. Again, it's not expert advice. It's, hey, if you want to build healthy relationships on your own, share some lessons. Me and ChatGPT put it together. So anyway, now on to the next step in my journey. As I had shared with you all in past videos, yoga had never really resonated with me. I used to do it after kickboxing, actually, for a cool down, and that's the only way I really liked it. That said, I completely understand and saw the benefits of yoga, so I decided to give it one more shot, but kind of in a style that's more my own. I think it's called style. I'd met a lovely lady that owned a beautiful cabina in Coweta still, in town, and she was going through certification for teaching aerial yoga and had offered to teach me as part of her training. When she told me about it, even though I knew I was probably going to bust my ass, it seemed more my style. If any yoga was going to resonate with me, I thought it might be fun. So I was down to try it and decided to do that. She was super sweet and we had a good connection. So I felt perfectly comfortable setting up expectations that I probably wasn't going to be Cirque du Soleil during the process, but I was super excited just to have fun with her. Before I went and met with her, I went through a hike through the jungle, my favorite little jungle, monkeys and all, and got a download during that process that I should ask her for some guidance on this energy stuff that I was talking about in the last video that I've been talking about with my neighbor. Honestly, when I got that download, I kind of balked at it. Well, she was super amazing, and I really liked her. She seemed like a no bullshit kind of gal, and pretty logical, and so I really didn't think any conversations about spirituality were going to thrill her, and I was just getting to know her. Of course, that was just my take on it. I didn't know her well, but I didn't want to quickly alienate her by bringing up some of this deep stuff that I think about. Just wanted to get to know her. I felt like it was pretty weird this early on. So anyway, I finished my hike and I went over there and we started doing the aerial yoga stuff. I ended up really digging it as she was teaching me it. Although I totally busted my ass, as expected, trying this stuff. And I was candidly worried because she was just a little bit, that in the process as she was spotting me, that I was going to mush her or flatten her, seeing she was so tiny. But in the end, I had a blast. And by the way, she survived. I didn't mush her. My lack of talent during the process didn't spoil any of the fun. It kind of felt like I could be a kid again, and I had a great time with her. And although I was severely lacking in any kind of skills, it was kind of like swinging and doing all sorts of acrobatics in the air. Now, I use the term acrobatics loosely, but I really had a good time with her. I finally felt like I found a type of yoga that didn't feel like a chore. And although I ended up with a fair amount of bruising from busting it numerous times, I really enjoyed it. After we were done with her teaching me a couple of the basic moves, and I do say basic, like staying on the swing, staying on the aerial yoga little swing hanging from the trees, we ended up having a lovely discussion. And so it made me feel comfortable, and I listened to the download that I had gotten during the hike. And I lightly broached the subject, the whole energy subject, and how to kind of detach and block others' energy. Much to my surprise, as it always happens, I'm always wrong, it ended up being an incredibly mutually beneficial discussion and conversation. As always, the universe was right. It ended up with me talking about intuition. I was right. She's a non-bullshit girl. She's super logical and data-oriented. but I was able to express my views on how kind of intuition works and give her kind of take her through a couple of experiences in her life where she bought it, right? Some of this intuition stuff isn't very logical, or you can't kind of scientifically prove it from the door. It's, again, I've used the example of gravity, although they're kind of changing perspectives on gravity now, I found out. But anyway, it's like gravity. You kind of know it exists unless it's proven wrong. But it's hard to do that with data. Same with intuition. And she ended up giving me some really great advice about detachment energy with relationships. She owns an Airbnb or a cabina. And so she was really skilled at the art of both engaging, she engages with guests all the time, and detaching at the same time. Now, if you had told me this before, I would have called that inauthentic. But the way she described it and the way she took me through how to do it was incredibly powerful and insightful, and really nailed down that art of engaging and detaching and still being authentic all at the same time. So much to my surprise, she had given me the answer to the experiment that I had been talking about with my neighbor and kind of being puzzled about and figuring out tactics for. And I was super grateful to her. Also, super grateful that she finally taught me yoga. Well, taught me. She finally introduced me, shall we say, to a yoga style that I really was enjoying. It just goes to show you never anticipate what insights you'll glean from any experiences beforehand, and assumptions are usually wrong. I really had a blast. So my hope for all of you listening to this is that you have a great weekend this week, and in the US it's a long weekend. I hope you do something fun for yourselves that you've never tried before, and do it with an open mind. As I learned, and I hope you will, you never know what will result out of it. Until next time, thanks for being on this journey with me. Take care.